Okay, welcome to the introductory video for Psych 4305, Mind, Brain, and Intelligence. My name is Andrew Olney. I will be your instructor. And in order to access the course, you need to get onto eCourseware, which I'm sure you've already done. So I'm just going to log in here with my username and password and wait for it to log me in. There it goes. So your page might look slightly different than mine. On mine I have to select a course, so I'm going to select Mind, Brain, and Intelligence. And before we get any further, I'm going to make myself look like a student, so what I see is what you see. Alright, so this is kind of the landing page for the course. There's a little welcome message here. It kind of gives you a high-level overview. So the three main areas are content, discussions, and the Dropbox. So content, discussions, and the Dropbox. The whole course is broken up into modules. We're going to do 2 modules a week. Each module has readings, so the modules and the content can be found in content. We're going to read these papers, then we're going to discuss them. The discussions take place in discussions. And every reading will have one person assigned to be the presenter to summarize the discussion and the reading. That person will put the presentation in the Dropbox and link it to discussions. You might have to load it up onto Drive in order to link it to discussions. I'm not sure. They've changed all the software over Christmas, so I'm not sure what it'll allow you to do. And then when we get to the point where you're writing up papers and so forth, you're going to submit those to the Dropbox. Okay, so that's kind of like the 10,000 foot overview. So let's click on content. So the course structure is here, and this whole thing should look a lot nicer to you because, like I said, they updated it over Christmas. So this is the introduction section. So we've got our objectives. We've got the video with syllabus, which is what you're watching now. We've got the syllabus itself. This is a reading. It's a PDF. This is a link out. It's kind of a fun link to check out. Here's a quiz as to whether or not you watched this video and read the syllabus. So you have to take that quiz to demonstrate that you actually paid attention to what I was saying, because it's so important. And then this is the sign-up link for presentations. So you click on this, it'll take you to a website. You can choose 2 dates to present on. And you might want to look at the schedule at the end of the syllabus in order to decide what topics you would like to present on. This is a discussion. So you click on this and it takes you to discussions, and this is a special one. It's kind of like for you to introduce yourself, but every module will have its own discussion that's like the topic of the module, and that's where discussions take place. So let's click on the syllabus. You can see that load up here. So this is a syllabus. This is me. This is how you contact me. Oh, by the way, the magic word, first magic word that's on the quiz is koala. This is where I'm located. I've got office hours if you want to come see me or talk to me. So this course is a cognitive psychology course, but the perspective that we're taking in this course that's maybe a little bit different than normal and what you expected is we're looking at real world learning. So this is how people learn in real world environments that mean something, as opposed to memorizing like random lists of words and stuff. So we're going to look at the typical things like memory and learning and stuff like that, but we're going to do it through this very practical lens that's going to incorporate also teaching and learning environments and learning technology. So one thing I think is kind of neat about this course is it allows you to draw on your own experiences as a student in school, in college, and use that to kind of better understand some of the psychology of learning and maybe even help yourself learn better in the future. Or you know, if you have children, help your children learn. So the basic format for the course is we're going to read papers, we're going to discuss papers, and you're going to write a paper and do presentations. And by the end of this, I'm hoping you'll be able to discuss the cognitive, neurological, and social basis of learning, that you'll be able to apply these principles to enhancing learning and, you know, apply this information, these principles in your life. Alright, so the materials for this course are articles that are provided, they're linked to in the content area. And by the way, each one of these boxes is a hyperlink, so if you click on this in the syllabus, it'll take you someplace. The main text for the class is this. It's available online. It's also linked in as a PDF in the content. The first reading from this book is in there as a PDF. You might prefer to read one or the other. They're formatted slightly differently, so it's kind of up to you. Hardware and software requirements, I don't think this is a problem, but you can check and see if your computer is fast enough to run the course. Basically, here's some guidelines for communicating with me and with each other. When you communicate in email, always have a subject line that means something. Try to just put everything in plain text as possible. Don't send massive attachments unless you've cleared it with people. When you're discussing, participate. Don't be insulting. Be thoughtful when you read other people's comments. Work with each other, all that kind of thing. And the chats, it's the same kind of thing as in discussions. So grading, most importantly, no credit will be given for late work. So if you turn in something late, I will give you a 0. So don't do it. Your research paper or project counts 50% of your grade, so very important. You need to do that in order to pass. I want the paper to be meaningful to you. I want it to be worth something to you. So I'm hoping that we can accomplish that. It's broken up into 3 deadlines. There's description and outline, due on March 19th, submit it to Dropbox. The paper draft, due midnight on April 9th, submit that to Dropbox, and then the final paper. And the reason for breaking it up in pieces is really to keep people from crashing and burning, to kind of help you along as much as possible, make it as good as possible. Here's some formatting stuff. The big thing in terms of the paper that I want you to think about is the 3 kinds of paper. So one is a position paper. That's kind of like where you frame a debate. You take a position on something. You talk about the controversies, whatever. There's also a literature review, which may just kind of go deep into an area. And then there's a project paper, which is more or less if you want to run an experiment and collect your own data. For all of these, you want to go beyond the readings that we do in class. If you want to do a project paper, please talk to me about it way, way in advance, so I can kind of help you get on your way. I don't expect everybody to do that kind of paper, but if you want to, if it's something that you think that you might want to get published, or if you're thinking about grad school, I'm happy to talk to you about that and help you with that. So the big chunk of the class is really reading and discussing, and that counts a lot towards your grade. And it's very kind of formalized, so we have a process for this, and it'll make sense once I get through it. So on Mondays and Thursdays, you do an initial response. And by the way, the second magic word is Moscow. Mondays and Thursdays, you do an initial response to the reading. So you've read it, you react to it, and we'll get into ways that you can react to it. And then somebody will, from that point until noon the next day, will summarize the reading and all the discussion and make a presentation, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And then everyone can continue the discussion and post a follow-up response to someone else's post. So the idea is you're going to make at least two posts, your initial post and a follow-up post. You're more than welcome to make more posts. And I mean, theoretically, it can boost your grade to make more posts as well. But that's the basic idea. And so don't be late with your posts, because I may not give you credit, and also it kind of sticks it to the person who's the presenter, because they may not have all the material they need to do their job. So do that on time. Here are kinds of posts that you can do, kind of give you an idea of the kinds of things that you might say. Their reactions, you can find a question, you can elaborate it, you can connect it to something in your own experience, your own life. Those are all totally awesome. Like I said, one person is going to be the presenter. Of course, it's me the first time and possibly the time after that, but you need to go to this link and sign up for 2 days to be a presenter, and basically summarize the reading and the discussion. And the format of your presentation, ideally it's going to be something like a PowerPoint with audio, so you can narrate a PowerPoint. You can Google that if you don't know how. But it's really easy if you have Microsoft Office, you can narrate a PowerPoint. There's other kinds of things you can do. You can do a video presentation or some kind of multimedia. Don't just upload slides. Don't just do dry slides. It's got to have something. It's really super boring to read somebody's slides. If you have a concern about your format, just let me know. Submit it to Dropbox. And here's a key. At least before Christmas, you could not link a file from Dropbox to anything. So you're probably going to have to upload this thing twice. Once to Dropbox for me to grade, and once to somewhere else like Drive. That way you can link it to the discussion forum so people can see your presentation. That's the only way people are going to be able to see your presentation. So do your presentation, upload it to Drive and Dropbox, and then take the link from Drive and post it into the discussion forum. I'm assuming everybody knows how to do that, but you can send me a question if you don't know how, or Google it. So that's basically the course format. Some other trivia, pretty strict about missing deadlines and makeup. Of course, people can be in a coma or something, so we can figure that out. Course announcements, it's very likely that I'll contact you by email periodically. If something changes, it's possible the syllabus may change. If you need help for anything, let me know. Come by office hours, send me an email. I can meet other office hours too. If you have a disability, you need to follow these procedures. I can't accommodate you unless you follow the procedures. So follow the procedures, I'll accommodate you. Academic integrity, super, super important. Do not cheat. I'm super, super good at finding people who are cheating. I report people every year to academic integrity. You fail a class, it's horrible, it'll make you cry. Don't do it. I've broken this up into little deadlines with a paper to make it harder for you to plagiarize because it's these little pieces. So I'm trying to disincentivize you from plagiarizing. I will nail you if you plagiarize. I'm very good at it. Don't do it. Diversity in classroom is very important. We want to foster an environment where everybody is free to speak their mind, nobody's intimidated, nobody's harassed. Don't do that. I don't think that's a problem. It's never been a problem, but I'll say it anyway. Okay, the course schedule is down here. It's kind of important to go back and refer to this because it's all kind of nicely formatted in one place. There's really no way of doing that in content that I'm aware of. But this lists the due dates. But as you can see, the initial response, Monday, Thursday, Monday, Thursday, Monday, Thursday. Presentation is always the next day, right? And then these are the topics and the readings for each one. The readings are PDFs that are linked to the module and the content area, so they're easy to find. The outline is due right after spring break. That's a Wednesday. The draft is due April 9th, Wednesday. Final paper is due April 30th, which is the last day of class, also Wednesday. So, bit of confusion possibly. All the paper stuff is due at midnight because I know that you guys like to do that. But all the reading responses and so forth, they're due at noon. And that's just the way it is. Haha. So, thank you for your attention. I look forward to working with you guys in class. The final magic word is mockingbird. So go take the quiz and get those points. All right, thanks.